Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center, hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, is no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no different. Blindfold on me, I still got the most vision. Trendsetter.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Carnivore Evolution. I'm your host, Victoria Olson, with our other host, Mark Ennis, and our guest today is Sylvie Bourgeois. Hello, and welcome, Sylvie. How are you?
I'm great, and thank you very much for having me on your podcast.
Well, we're very pleased to have you. Thank you. And we're looking forward to hearing more about your carnivore experience. And if you would, could you please start with giving us a little background on your health prior to your carnivore journey?
Absolutely. So, probably around 10 years-ish ago, I had very, very severe IBS. So the whole thing, the bloating, the urgent bowel movements, the pain, etc., etc. And then I also started having infections that are called diverticulitis. So those were extremely painful, and it's basically a trip to the ER, get a CT scan, blood work, and then some antibiotics, sometimes painkillers. So over the last 10 years, I've had at least 1 or 2 infections a year.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's been awful, and I've been in the ER at least 2 times a year approximately to get relief from the pain and all of that. So it really had a big effect on my quality of life because I had to miss a lot of work. And when you're sick, it also affects your mental health. Like every time I had an infection, I became very depressed. And it took and as you know, when you're on antibiotics, it does a job to your gut bacteria. So it
Yes.
I would never have the time to recover, right? So yeah, I've been battling with that for many, many years. Also, another thing that I was struggling with is I have that ADHD brain. So at one point, I wasn't even able to function anymore, like for my full day of work. It would get to lunchtime, and then my brain power was I just had no more brain power. So I went on medication, and it helped a little bit, but I still didn't have that brain power. And I had very, very severe mood swings as well, like so severe that sometimes I would tell my husband, look, it's not you, it's not the kids. I had to retreat in my room and be quiet for a while because I couldn't even stand myself. Now, nobody gave me a diagnostic for that. I just thought that's how I was, and that's how, life was, and we carried on with that. So when my husband Scott got sick, he was obese, and that all happens gradually, right? You don't really notice all of that. And when he was diagnosed in 2021 with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, he started his journey on the keto diet. And me being in my 40s at that time, I had started gaining weight, and I saw him losing a whole bunch of weight. And so I just started that diet just for the purpose of losing some weight. That really didn't work out for me at all. But what I had noticed is my mental health started getting better. It was like, oh, Scott, I haven't had one of these episodes in a long time. And then in 2023, I had a very severe infection of diverticulitis, and I landed myself in the hospital, and I was very sick. And at that point, there was talk about taking a part of my colon
Oh
out.
my goodness.
So yeah, I was at that point. And that's something that I had been offered before and always refused. But at this point, I really got scared the last time, because what that means, with that infection, you can get a perforation, and then that's an emergency, and I could end up, getting like a bag, um, or even worse, death, right? Because it's
Oh,
toxic in your body. So
horrible.
I was at the point, exactly. I was at the point, okay, so I think I'm gonna have the surgery. So I signed up with my surgeon, and while I was on this journey with Scott, at one point we met up with an old friend, and he kind of knew what journey we were on, and he suggested I go see his naturopaths. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll go see the naturopaths. And what was funny, or not so funny, that you guys will appreciate this, the naturopaths put me on a very strict carnivore diet. So,
Really?
yes,
Really? A naturopath. That
and
seems unusual. Yeah.
yes, we've never heard of that before, but these particular naturopaths, they're two, it's husband and wife, so they work together, and they're very different in how they treat people, but they put me on a very strict carnivore diet, and also intermittent fasting, but
Mm.
dry fasting.
Oh,
And
really?
they told me, if you keep doing this, you'll never have an infection again. And I'm like, yeah, no, like that's not right.
Mm.
And so at that point, I had told myself, I'm going to wait a year until, to see if I don't have an infection, because for the past 10 plus years, I've had an infection every year. If I can get through 1 year without an infection, I'll cancel my surgery. And then the year went by and I had no infection. And we're starting October this week, so it'll be 2 years with
Wow.
zero
It's
infection.
wonderful.
Exactly. And my IBS is gone. I'm no longer on ADHD pills, and I don't have that anxiety anymore, or mood swings.
Fantastic.
Can I just go back? Can I just go back to the
Yes.
what were the symptoms? Like, what was the information you were getting from the doctors, from the experts before you actually
Oh,
went into carnivore?
oh my goodness. Okay, so of course, I would ask every time I had an infection, and I saw multiple doctors at the ER, and every time I'm like, I don't want this to happen again. What am I supposed to do? Every single time, eat more fiber. So what would I do? I would eat more fiber
Mm,
in the form of vegetables, in the form of chia seed, flax seeds,
mm,
insoluble fiber, all of it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
exactly. And I never got over any, um I would always be in some sort of distress,
mm,
right? If it
Yeah.
wasn't for my infection, it would be IBS. Like, there's some days I looked as if I was 6 months pregnant. It was
Bloating. Oh my
awful, and
goodness.
you feel like you're just bloating and bloating. It's like, am I gonna burst at one point? But yes, that's the only information that they would, or suggestion that they would tell me, is fiber every single time. So
It's so
when
irritating, actually. It
well,
does the opposite of what you need.
mm,
exactly, and when I went to
Terrible.
see the naturopaths, the first thing the wife told me, she looks at me, she's like, no more vegetables and never eat raw vegetables. And I'm
mm,
like, oh,
Yes.
I
Yes.
know.
mm,
Yes.
They know.
yeah,
That's how they heal people. They've been healing people for years.
yeah.
And I was so I went through a lot of emotions after that, I have to say, because I suffered for so long, and the answer was right in front of me. but I believed in the system and I believed in the experts. But another funny thing that I kind of made a little connection when I was in the hospital. So I was in the hospital with an acute infection. And so the surgeon ordered a dietitian to come talk to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm open to learning something new. If I can make any changes, this is great. So she came to talk to me and she's like, oh, right now your bowel is very delicate and it's inflamed and all this. So you cannot eat fiber for the next 6 weeks. But after 6 weeks, then you have to put in all the fiber. So I'm like,
get away from it.
exactly. What did she just tell me? For my gut to
That's
heal,
crazy. That's
stay
crazy.
away
Go
from
back
the
and
fiber.
infect yourself again. Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
see,
my
that's what
God.
happens. They can never let go of the vegetables. That's one thing you see all the time from these experts. It's like, okay, well, you can eliminate the processed food, you can eliminate the carbohydrates, but the one thing you should never eliminate is the vegetables. And we know there's a big connection between the gut and the brain. What you
Ugh.
feed the gut is going to have a huge impact on the brain. And it's just mind-boggling that when you think about it, your brain is made of fats. Your brain thrives off cholesterol, and we're told to feed it fiber, a non-nutrient, by the way. It's just
Yes, yes, it's
it
not
doesn't make
necessary for life at all.
but it just doesn't make sense, because when you look at the
No,
two
it's like
macronutrients, yeah, you
a
look at the
cult
two
of vegetables.
macronutrients, you look at the food pyramid, what's at the very, very bottom? A macro that's not even essential. And then
Exactly.
next you're looking at grains. It's not even a nutrient. And we're told to prioritize this in your diet.
Well, because we didn't know for a long time how much nutrition was in meat. They
Yeah.
just didn't expect it and they didn't test it for it. And well, now we know. And we
Mhm.
know that we can have a very complete diet and complete nutrition with
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, Sylvie,
Yes.
the chronology that I picked up on in your
Mhm.
journey, was it that you started carnivore before your husband did? Is that how that
Um,
you went to the naturopath before he started carnivore?
we were we were already kind of looking into heading that way, so we were not
Mm-hmm.
proper carnivores. We were more animal heavy
Mm-hmm.
diet. But yes, I would say like a clean carnivore. I was the first one when I went to the naturopath, and of course, like after I went, I'm like, oh, you have to go see them too, because they were just amazing. Like they gave me some other tips as well. So part of my protocol is to every like when I break my fast, I'm gonna take some kefir, preferably sheep or goat, because it's easier digestible with active bacteria, because you can,
Mm-hmm.
if you look, some of them don't even have the active bacteria. And I'll take like about half a cup on an empty stomach before I eat anything else. And it's kept me
Mm-hmm.
perfect,
Mm.
really.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did the healing process take? Did you see it in a couple of weeks, a couple of months? How
Oh,
quick was the healing process?
it was really, really rough at the beginning. I would say for me, even the keto flu, like I had worse than Scott. Going into carnivore, I had some of that as well. Because I don't think I was fully fat adapted. So for me, the dry fasting, it was really difficult. So I would say a four full weeks
Mm.
before I started feeling better. Like I
Mm.
felt worse even before I felt better.
Was it an easy transition, or did you feel like, okay, no, I'm struggling here. I still have that addiction to the sugar. Did you struggle with the vegetables? Like, talk me through. Did you go straight into carnivore? What was the mindset like, just looking at it like a piece of meat on its own and nothing else?
Um, I think on the psychological side, it was hard. But when I went to see the naturopaths and how sick I was at that point, they actually really scared me. So,
Really?
um, yeah, so I really didn't deviate at all during that 4 weeks, but the adaptation was really hard. And yes, I had the cravings really
Mm,
bad. Like
mm,
at like 4 or 5 p.m., I was, mm, I wanted some other foods.
mm.
So,
What
yeah, the
what did
transition was not easy.
what did they prescribe for you to eat? Did it include dairy? And were you told to eat 1, 2, or 3 meals a day? Any instructions like that?
Yes, absolutely. So my instructions for me specifically was that kefir when I broke my fast,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted me on ruminant meat only and as much as possible grass-fed, grass finish, just to
Mm-hmm.
kind of bring my omega 3s up. Lots of fatty fish,
Really?
no vegetables at all, bone broth, and they wanted me to close my eating window at 3 p.m. So my eating window
Mm-hmm.
would be 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Mm.
and close my window then and then do some dry fasting. So I think part of the struggle as well was the dry fasting. I was new at dry fasting. I didn't understand it very well. And I was the type of person as well that I would drink a lot of water. I was one of these people that had this big jug of water all day
Mm,
long. And that's another thing that they told me, you're drinking too much water.
Yeah, yeah.
mm,
Dilutes
And
your minerals. Yes.
mm,
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So part of my suffering as well was I always felt like I was thirsty, and the only like what they would tell me to take is unrefined salt. So
Yeah.
I live with salt now all the time. So that's my minerals.
Mm.
And that's what gets me I know it sounds weird and that's what they explain to me, but when I'm dehydrated, they want me to use that salt so that my body can convert the water that's inside us and that
mm.
gets rid of the toxins and the fat and whatnot. And so going back to my journey when I was keto with Scott and my weight wouldn't budge, like I said, carnivore, then it just stopped. Then it just
Really?
started dropping and dropping and
Mm.
dropping, and the inflammation, it went
Yes.
away. Like I hadn't even noticed how puffy my face was until I took a picture. I think I sent you that picture of just my face. That was just
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks of difference.
You really have changed since I will post those before and after pictures, but I have to tell you, you've lost 20 years.
I
It's
know.
just amazing, amazing difference between what you were like when you were suffering and what you are now on carnivore. Just and it's great.
And what have
God
to
bless
and what's
you.
been the information now? What have the doctors said? I'm sure they must be looking at you now, seeing how healthy you are. Like
Yes.
what's the feedback like?
I haven't really gone back except to say, hey, can I get my blood work done?
Mm,
And that was it. I haven't talked because with my doctor, I would not really have the conversation of my bowel issues. That was
Mm.
more with the surgeon and me ending up in the ER. But we kind of fear telling our doctors that we're carnivores. We just say that we're on a low glycemic whole food approach.
Mm-hmm.
Because here in Canada, it's not like we can fire our doctor, they can fire us, and it's very
Yeah.
difficult to find a doctor. So we do need our doctor to get the blood work um, and whatnot done. But another thing that I find that's been a huge change, you said it made me younger. It also brought back, I shouldn't even say back, because I was never a confident person. And now I feel the most confident I've ever been in my life. Me doing a podcast with anybody, there's just no way I would have been in fear. And now I just find it's like I don't want to stop talking about
yeah,
this
yeah,
because
Good,
I feel
good.
like a completely different
yeah.
and new person. And just another thing about being younger, about a month ago, when I was young, I used to do gymnastics, cartwheels everywhere, and at one point, you don't do that anymore.
Mhm.
I tried doing a cartwheel in my 40s and I literally hurt myself.
Oh no.
Yes. And about a month ago, I'm like, Scott, I don't know, I want to do a cartwheel. But I was afraid to hurt myself. I'm doing cartwheels every day now with,
No kidding. Is that
yes,
wonderful?
no,
Fantastic.
like without any effort, because
I
there's
love
no
it.
pain, there's no stiffness. Part of it was like
Mhm.
trying that cartwheel, with some extra fat, and like the joints weren't working well, and now everything's working well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's
Yeah, I
fantastic.
mean, that's the reason why we do these podcasts. Me and Victoria have been doing these now a while, and it's just amazing, these stories, because we always say that if this podcast just reaches one person that has a similar story to you, and it just helps this person, then our job is done. That's the reason why we're doing these podcasts. It's just to get people on and just prove to everyone that there's always hope. There's always hope. No matter what your situation is, there's always hope. And you might not need to go down the medical route. Maybe you just need to address your
Exactly.
diet, look at it, and let's see what happens. Let's just see
Yes,
what
it
happens.
takes care of so
Exactly.
much.
Exactly. And for someone like me with these digestive issues, there's so many people out there
Oh, yes.
with
Yes. I'm related to a
IBS.
lot of
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah.
It's such a big umbrella. They pretty much tell anybody
But
that
it's
has
not only
trouble.
that. It's not only that, Sylvia. Like mental health in the world now is
Oh,
huge, huge at the
oh,
moment. Everybody's struggling with mental health at the moment,
yes,
Yes.
and everybody that I know is on antidepressants.
Oh,
yes.
You
dear.
know what I mean? I hear it all the time in the gym. People are always going on, "Oh, I'm struggling. The gym is my savior." But it's like, okay, the gym is your savior for like 1 hour, but then when you go
Mhm.
home after the gym, what are you gonna do? You're gonna start feeding yourself crap again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
every time you look on the TV, I know in this country, every time I switch on my TV, you'll always see the
Oh,
dietitians and nutritionists. They'll always say that you can eat this crap in moderation, include your vegetables, you can still have your chocolates. Just horrendous advice, and horrendous, horrendous.
I agree. I 100% agree. And that's the weird thing, that I hadn't even made the connection of my mental health with my new diet. And then you start hearing stories, Dr. Chris Palmer and Dr.
Mm,
Georgia Eady,
mm,
yes, yes. Both of
how
them.
they're
Mhm.
using a ketogenic diet as a therapeutic
yeah,
way of healing,
yeah.
um, like these people that are medication resistant, like with depression and schizophrenia
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
bipolar. That
Mm.
was unheard of. And there's
Yeah.
people that are actually in remission now.
Yes, yes. It's
Mm.
true. And it's wonderful. It's just amazing.
I mean,
It's
this is what we should be doing. I mean, we only
Yes.
spoke about this. We only spoke about this on our other podcast last night. They're trying to shut us down, even though there's many people in the world at the moment that have literally changed their lives. And
Yes.
you can clearly see what the problem is. You can see what the agenda is, because the
oh,
more the more the more people that come out like you, and people listen to these stories, people are going to be like, okay, well, the information that I've been given for such a long time, maybe it's time to question it. And you should
Yeah.
be questioning them because it's not working.
Mhm.
Simple.
yes, but I find there's still a lot of resistance around that.
Mhm. Yes.
Like just even on my personal Facebook, I'll do just these little videos and just share my
Mhm.
story basically.
Mm,
And I've been called some really nasty names,
Oh,
like
unfortunately.
carnivore cult and carnivore crap
mm,
and all of this. I find a lot of people, they have a hard time understanding that it's actually possible, because the mainstream will keep telling you the same thing, that
Yes.
you need that fiber, that you need these certain vegetables, eat the rainbow. Red meat is bad for
With
your
the,
heart,
the-
for cancer and whatnot, and people still believe that, and I
Mhm.
don't blame them in a way, because that's what they hear every single day. So there is a lot of resistance here, and I know in our community here there's a big push or awareness of plant forward. And like you kind of said, Mark, that there's kind of something going on. If you've just heard of the Eat Lancet and all of that, we won't get into
Yeah.
politics here, but
Mhm.
there's something insidious going on here, and it's unfortunate because everybody is suffering.
Well, see, at the end of the day, money talks. I mean, we're up against such a massive organization at the moment.
Oh,
The
it's
only
huge. Yeah.
everywhere you look, it's in your face. You switch on your TV, it's in your face. You switch on the radio, it's in your face. You go to the cinema, it's in your face. So it's everywhere. And unfortunately, that's what we're up against. But I firmly believe, because I've been doing carnivore now well over 4.5 years, and you can definitely see that a lot of people are definitely questioning stuff. And I can see there's more carnivores in the world now than there was 4 years ago. And I've also noticed in my local shop, like 4 years ago, I used to walk into my local shop and nobody bought the red meat. It was very, very little.
Oh, wow.
But nowadays, there's hardly none left. So that tells me, okay, maybe people are listening. Because as I said, I
Mm.
used to walk in my local shop and I could buy as much ground beef as I wanted, like the high percentage of fat, like 4 years ago, because nobody was buying it. It was so cheap. But nowadays, there's hardly none left. It's all gone.
Mm.
So
Well, that's a good sign.
that tells me that something is switching here.
Mm.
And it's amazing to see, because that's what I love. I love when I wake up the next morning and I get a few messages on my phone and people are just asking me questions.
And to be fair, Scott and I do get a lot of questions too, but people don't want to be known. Like, we even have this very little group of 10 people around here, but they will not tell anybody else that they're carnivore. They're actually following it.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, yes, because it I don't know, it gets sticky with some people.
But don't people see the change in you? And do you, like your family, um, relatives, close friends, have seen the change in you, that you don't suffer anymore, that you don't hide anymore? Um, I'm wondering about why wouldn't people get the message that way? Have you seen that in your life?
Yes, I have to say that most of my close friends and family are very supportive and understand it. Scott's mom and stepfather, they've gone mostly carnivore, so they
Oh,
believe in it, and they've made the switch.
mm,
But for other people, I think it's the addiction.
yeah.
There's some people that will say, like, I can't have breakfast without my piece
Mm,
Mm,
of bread, or I
mm,
can't live without pasta,
mm,
because they've just lived their whole lives that way.
mm.
So I think it's more the addiction talking than anything else.
I mean,
Because
do
yeah,
you ever notice when you talk to these people and you tell them, okay, go a day or two without carbohydrates, and then
oof,
they'll try it, and then 2 days later they're panicking, they're shaking,
yeah.
they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I need my
Withdrawal
carbohydrates.
symptoms.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, oh my God, my whole body's shaking here. I can't do this anymore. And it's like
yeah,
that's when you explain to them, okay, now you understand you have a serious addiction.
Yes. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Like, that's your blood sugars going up and down all day,
Mm,
and it makes you hangry,
yeah.
and it's such an addiction, and that's another thing that we've came to realize during our journey, is how we were addicted to food. You would have asked me about food addiction,
Mm.
and no, that was for a different category of people. But yes, we were addicted to our food.
Yeah.
And
Me
just
too.
even the fact, yeah, exactly, to the carbohydrates. But not only that, it's to eat every 2 hours. You have
Mm,
to have breakfast and then a snack and then lunch and then a snack and then
mm.
supper and then a snack. That was a lot of eating.
And
Yes,
see,
So,
and
yes, and
see, and see.
it's promoted by the carbs. I'm sorry, dear.
No, sorry, Victoria. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said the carbs promote that. It
Yeah,
builds. It's a snowball,
yeah,
constantly rolling and constantly happening. I see it in my relatives when I have my grandkids over. There's one carby snack after the next, and that's what their
yeah,
mother wants them to have. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Chris Palmer because I'm a massive fan of his, and
yes.
I watch a lot of his videos, and I've studied this guy a few times. And when you
Yeah.
look at what's going on in the world at the moment with like ADHD, autism, bipolar,
Mhm.
the list goes on and on and on. And what he talks about, especially with the gut health and the mental health and how it's affecting so many people, the way he explains it makes perfect sense in my opinion. Because when you look at the 1970s, when we weren't anywhere near obese than what we are right now, we weren't even struggling. We probably were struggling, but nowhere near as much as right now. Now, when
Yeah.
you think about it, in the last say 50 years, maybe something like that, some from the 70s up to now, our food system has changed massively,
Oh,
massively. There's more ingredients in the food. They're putting more chemicals into the food, and you look at the likes of autism rates now are going through the roof. They're going
I know.
through the
I
roof at
have
the
a
moment.
child. I have a
It's
child on the
incredible.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And when you look at the genetics factor, it does make sense because everybody's been eating this way
No,
for the last 50 years. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So it's like
Exactly.
you have to look at it from a deeper root and say, okay, well, hang on a second. From the 1970s, it wasn't that bad, but now you look
Hmm.
from the 1970s up to where it is right now. You only need to look around. Obesity rates are out of control. Type 2 diabetes numbers are out of control. Fatty liver disease.
Oh,
Young kids
kids.
young kids as young as 8 years of age are walking around with fatty liver disease, and nobody understands why. Nobody. So it's scary. And now they're in a situation at the moment where all these situations are going on. They're panicking and they're like, okay, what do we do about this? We have the solution for you. Let's go on a weight loss injection.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes,
Awful.
exactly. And
That's
that
shameful.
has its
Scary, scary.
issues, obviously. Yeah, and that's the problem too. They have a solution for every little thing that you
Yep,
have,
yep.
and unfortunately it's not the solution, and in most cases I think it makes you sicker and sicker.
Mm,
That was my case for sure because I ate the fiber and had the antibiotics and the pain management and all that, and that was not making me healthy at all. It
no.
was just making me sicker.
Just
And see, that's the
maintaining
and
you
that's the
in a
problem.
sick state.
Yeah. And that's what's going on in the world at the moment. We're all focusing on the wrong problem. We're absolutely convinced that you just need to lose weight and you'll be healthy. That's all you need to do. Forget about the type of food that you're eating. It doesn't matter. Because if it was about the type of food that we're eating, we wouldn't be told this crap that we can eat this crap in moderation. Every dietitian and nutritionist that I see, they
Mhm.
always say um your treats, and you can still have your
Oh.
bars of chocolate. They never ever say you should get rid of this stuff. Never. Now, when you talk to someone who's, let's say, an alcoholic, are you going to turn
Mhm.
around and say to that alcoholic, okay, you can have a little bit of alcohol, or are you gonna encourage them to stop?
Exactly. It's just not gonna work, and that's why we need to recognize that we have an addiction to food as well, and to sugar. But it's not only that. You said you go back into the 1970s. There's other things that was injected in our system, like all that sunscreen, and then avoid the sun,
Yes.
yet rates of skin cancer are going up. But
Yeah.
I know people
Ironically.
who never go out in the sun who's had skin cancer. Like, things are just not adding up here.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I just feel that we're in trouble, but at least some of us are starting to understand how our bodies actually work. And that's another thing. You have to get in touch with your body as well. Like going through this journey, now I know what satiety feels like.
Yes.
Now I know what a normal body feels like. Now I know what a good sleep feels like,
Yes.
or a good sharp brain. But you lose all of that, and then you get into this vicious circle. You don't feel good, so you need more sleep, and you don't want to go out in the sun, and you don't want to move because you're stiff. So it's kind of keeping everybody on that
Yes.
constant wheel. But when you
Yes.
just break free out of it, then I don't know, my instincts came back, my confidence came back. It's amazing.
It's
Yeah, the
wonderful.
biggest I've
Yes.
always said this. The biggest thing I got out of this was the brain fog. How relaxed I am now. Like
Right.
I'm so relaxed
Yeah,
about
me
things now.
too.
I don't let
Me
things get to
too.
me anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And don't you feel, I say that all the time to my husband, Scott. I'm like, it's like we're in on a secret, and we just want to share it with everybody, because before you experience it yourself, people don't know
You
how
don't
how
know.
it feels
Exactly.
good to have
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
brain.
Exactly true.
I was like you at the very, very beginning. Yeah, I was like you guys at the very, very beginning. When I did this diet like years ago, I was like, this is crazy. Like this is just amazing. Because I was like you said, I suffered with my mental health for a very, very long time, and we're talking within days. Within days, it was gone, gone.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was like, okay, I need to do more. I need to do more research. So that's why I did it for a little bit longer. And I was like, oh my God, things are actually improving. I've been trying to fix this for a long, long time. Now I've been in the fitness game for over 30 years. I was convinced I could fix this myself, because I
Right.
was convinced that, okay, I'm into fitness. I go to the gym regularly. I'm active.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating healthy. I'm allowed to have my off treats. I'm fine. Like
Mm-hmm.
90% of my diet was classed as healthy. Because I was eating a lot of clean carbohydrates, lean sources of protein, a lot of veggies, and I was allowing myself to have that piece of chocolate. Allowing myself. That's what you hear every day. It's like
Because
I'm
you went to
allowing
the
myself.
gym.
Yeah, yeah. So and
Yeah.
and every time I went over my food intake, like let's say I was on 2,000 calories, if I ate a little bit higher than that, I would literally punish myself the next day in the gym. Punish myself.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
That's what when you mentioned earlier on about the food freedom. I don't have that. I don't have that. I know what true satiety is now. I don't think about food anymore. Like I only eat twice a day.
Yeah.
I don't need to eat every 2 hours. I don't have that. I'm
Hmm.
not panicking around food anymore. It's like it's just everything's relaxed.
yes.
Like you know what I
Yeah, the
mean?
noise. Yeah, the
Yeah.
noise goes away. Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Yes.
thinking about food after I work out anymore. Like after my workouts, I used to be like panicking. Oh my God, I need to eat. I need to eat. Now I can go like say 4 or 5 hours after my workout, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. There's no
Yeah.
problems.
Me too.
Exactly. Exactly. Because
And
we
that's
all
the
have that
yeah,
energy.
and that's the power of fasting. Because if you had said to me like 5, 6 years ago, try fasting, I was like, no, because
No.
I would have been thinking
Hmm.
about food all the time.
Hmm.
But when you take that away from the body, when you take the addiction away from the body, it's a gift. It's an absolute gift.
Hmm. It is. It definitely is. Yeah.
It really is. It's wonderful. Like example today, it's 2:46 p.m. where I'm at, and I haven't eaten yet.
Yeah,
And I'm fine. I'm
yeah,
not
Hmm.
shaky. I'm not even thinking about food.
yeah.
Yeah, it is that freedom. And also I came from, in my early 40s, I was a vegetarian.
Mhm.
Imagine that, for 4 years. And that's when
Wow.
my problems all started. So, let's make a connection here. But
Hmm.
you had to eat all the time.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
So hungry.
And when you think about it, how much it actually costs people to buy all this food,
Oh,
all this
yeah.
variety of food,
Yes.
because
Mm-hmm.
they're convinced they have to buy it all. but you're getting
Mm-hmm.
everything that you need, all the vitamins, the minerals, all the essential nutrients, everything you need in just animal-based meat. So
Oh,
when when
exactly.
when you look at the world at the moment and everybody's struggling financially, surely if you start
Mhm.
listening to what we're saying, we could actually save you
Oh,
some money.
we lost Mark.
Oh dear. Yeah. Well, he was making a good point that people think the
I
carnivore
know.
diet is expensive, but we eat a lot less. And dinner time is so up in the air now. I'll ask my husband, "Are you hungry?" He goes, "Not really." And there it is, 7, 8 o'clock, and he ate some lunch, and that was fine. Yeah, it's not as expensive as being a standard American or standard European diet.
No, exactly. And what I know now as well, like I thought I was doing the right thing and the healthy thing being a vegetarian and the whole animal thing as well. But now we know that that's not true. But I got into trouble as well because my B12 got so low that I had to get injections, and then
Oh
I became
my,
anemic, and that's when
oh
all
dear.
my gut problems started, and that's when I started gaining weight. And um yeah, and I'm pretty sure I had some oxalates issues in there. I
Hmm.
had a frozen shoulder. I
There you
had
go. Yeah.
cysts on my ovaries. That was during my vegetarian days, but I never made the connection because I thought I was eating healthy. So
And so where are you now? How long you been doing carnivore now?
Um, it's been a full year. It's been a full year. Like,
Amazing.
so- yes,
And what and
exactly.
what have you seen apart from the gut issues improving, the IBS improving? What else? What other benefits have you seen?
Oh, just like I said, just the energy and the confidence and the mental health and even sleeping. Sleeping is so much better. I
Yeah.
have a better quality of sleep. I also had at one point my gums were bleeding. That's
Oh
gone away.
dear.
My skin's better. Like you say, I look younger.
Yeah.
I've had people say, "Are you in your 30s?" I'm like, "No, I'm close to 60." So,
Wow.
No,
yes.
no.
I would have never,
Oh
no
no. I
way.
put you in your
Yes.
mid-20s. Yes.
No, I'm 57 years old.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh
for
my
gosh
God.
sakes.
Mhm.
Oh, it's
You look,
wonderful.
Mhm.
honestly, you look amazing.
Oh,
You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so
fantastic.
much. But that's what people will notice about me. But like it's my skin's better. Like
I would
even
have never said you were 57. I would have gave you
Never,
probably about
never.
34, 35 easily.
Yes, at
thank
the
you.
most.
Thank you very much. But this is because I eat this way and I take care of my body now. And it is a combination. Obviously the nutrition plays a huge role, but with the dry fasting, and I even if it's sunny outside, I'll say I'm going out for my sun therapy. I'll
Mm.
make sure to get some of that sun and the grounding, and I do some meditation because I believe in all of that as well. So yeah. So now I'm gonna live like over 120 for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
wonderful. I hope so
100%.
too.
And
Do you
what
do?
does a typical day look like for you food wise?
Oh, okay. Well, I still drink, I drink coffee. That was part of the protocol they gave me because I didn't even drink coffee before. So I'll have my cup of coffee in the morning, and then when I'm hungry, it's basically steak and eggs. That's pretty much my go-to. So that would be one meal a day during the week, and during the weekend we'll probably have two meals. Like we might have a breakfast with eggs, and then maybe to change things up, we'll have chicken wings or something like that. But during the week, it's steak and eggs.
Mm.
Basically, that's what I have. That one meal, and that's all I need
That's all you're having, just one meal a day, and that's it.
during the week. During the weekend, I will have probably two meals. Just
Are you tracking anything at the moment, or are you just eating to
no, I'm
amazing, amazing.
I'm not, I don't need to track anything. I do have to stay away from I have a certain threshold when it comes to dairy. I will have some digestive issues if I have too much dairy. So for the most part, I stay away from it, except for the kefir. So occasionally, I'll have a piece of cheese here and there, but for the most part, it's steak and eggs. That's how I feel my best, with steak and eggs.
And is the whole family eating this way, or is it just yourself and your partner?
It's just myself and my husband. My daughter's trying to follow us as best as she can. She's 18 years old, so, there's other influences there, and that's not how she grew up, obviously. But she's the one that will eat the most, at least whole foods. My son, who is autistic, finally he's eating meat, because he would not even eat any meat at all. So at least we have that for him. The carb addiction there, that's going to be harder to break for him. And my oldest son, well, he doesn't live here anymore. He's in and out, so I don't really have control over that at all. But I have to say, everybody's more conscious of what they're eating.
Have you seen a difference in your child that has autism eating this way?
Yes. Just eating the meat, even though he still eats carbs, just eating the meat makes a difference. Like, he used to not being able to even talk to any stranger at all. Now he can make a little bit of small talk. He's very functional, like he went to college and all that, but for him it's more like the social anxiety. So yes, it is better. And that's another thing that we didn't really talk about much, but my whole life prior to getting to carnivore, as we were told by the mainstream, I avoided fat at all costs.
Yes.
And I believe that we really need that fat for our brains, because it's made a huge difference.
But this is what's going on in the world at the moment with the likes of the Tylenol at the moment. This is why I go back to Dave Palmer. Like, when you think about it, like, if the mother was feeding herself crap for a very, very long time, more than likely you were going to have an autistic child. Not in all cases, but in most cases, because this is the reason why we're seeing these autism rates increase. And nobody has an understanding why, because everybody's not saying, okay, it can't be just down to the food system, because the food system's been like this for years, and autism was diagnosed in the 1940s. But like I said earlier, when you look at the 1940s to the 1970s, our food system wasn't anywhere near as bad as what it is now. Nowhere
so
near.
much more processed
So I would like to
food.
see, So the 1940s to the 1970s. If you want to give me that rubbish, give me the figures. Give me the figures from the 1940s to the 70s, and then give me the figures from the 1970s to today.
Exactly. And they're just trying to get the data, and people are getting all defensive about it. But as a mom of an ASD child, I want all that data. And you're right, like, there's toxins in our food, there's toxins in our environment.
Like, do you mind me asking? It's not too private. It's not too private. When you were having your autistic child, did they try and give you Tylenol at that stage?
You know what? I don't remember. Like, that's what I'm trying to remember. And people who say I never took Tylenol, how do you actually remember? Like, my child he's 22 years old. So I know that I was at least told if I needed to take Tylenol, that it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, there was no question about it. I don't know for sure. If I know I had an infection, so I did have antibiotics at one point. My diet was crap for sure. I thought these fruit smoothies was good for me. I had a ton of those. And another thing that I will tell you about that, when I was pregnant with my son, who's autistic, I developed a ton of skin tags. They were so bad, like, even I would have trouble seeing because they were in my eyes. My neck was full of them. I still have some left here. But I wasn't considered, what do they call, like diabetes,
Diabetic.
pregnancy, diabetes.
Yeah.
But of course, nobody would have tested my insulin. So I'm like, my
Exactly. Yeah.
insulin must have been high
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
I
Definitely
had them
insulin
all over
resistance.
my body.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm making some connections now. There
Yeah.
was also pesticides on my neighbor's lawn. Like there's a lot that was going on during that time. So I think it's just important to get the data and to figure this out because again, it's suffering. It's
Mhm.
suffering for the parents, it's suffering for the child. Like the things that we went through was really hard, you know? So
Yeah, it. You know what? At the same time, I do get angry about it, but at the same time, I'm happy that so many people are taking matters into their own hands. And I think before we end this, I think before we end this podcast, I think that's the most important message we
yes.
need to make is just take matters into your own hands. Just question everything. What have you got
Yes,
to lose? What have you got to lose? Honestly, just try it.
exactly. I agree with you 100%.
Like at the
100%.
end of the day, like what have you got to lose? We've been told for a very, very long time you need to limit fat, cholesterol's the problem, LDL is the problem. But like my LDL is huge at the moment and I feel great. I feel absolutely great. Like I'm gonna be going to get my blood work done very, very soon. And I'm gonna get a CAC scan as well. And I know for a fact it's gonna
Oh,
come up a big
okay.
zero. I know it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Well,
And I
LDL
want
isn't
to
really the
do it
issue. Yeah.
because no, we had Malcolm
Mhm.
on there a few weeks ago, and he gave us a good talk on it. He spoke for about 2 hours on
Malcolm
this.
Kendrick.
But we
Yeah.
also had Lisa. Lisa Moss has done a CAC scan twice.
She
She's never
has.
had any heart disease, never had any heart problems,
I've had three
and
of them, and
this
they've
is
all
what we
been
need to be doing.
zero in the last 6 years. And I'm in
Amazing,
my seventh year
amazing.
of
Imagine
carnivore.
that.
And I used to weigh 300
Yeah,
pounds.
Imagine that.
Yes. And
No
so
way.
my doctor says that over time, the carnivore diet will clean up your arteries. And he believes that. So,
Your doctor said that?
yeah, Adam Nally.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, he's a
And yeah,
carnivore
but the
himself.
focus is just the LDL.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it
there's so
makes
many
no
other
sense. It's
things like the
really look at your
triglycerides melting.
triglycerides. Sorry, look at your
Exactly.
triglycerides
Yeah.
divided by your HDL. And there's a whole range of that. So you
Mm-hmm.
should be from 0.5 to 1.9 is the ideal optimal range of the difference between those two.
Mhm.
So anything higher, you're
Yeah.
looking
See, the
at
problem is
prediabetes.
yeah. See, the problem is simple. It's not the cholesterol. The cholesterol was never the problem. What
That's
you
right.
mix with the cholesterol is what's the problem.
Yes.
There's the
Yes.
issue right there.
Carbohydrates.
So
Mhm.
Yes.
to put it in simple terms, if you're having a steak or you're having a burger, what else are you having it with?
Yes,
That's
Yeah,
exactly.
it.
French
It's just
That's
that
the
fries,
simple.
whole
bread,
answer.
pasta,
Yeah.
mhm,
The bun,
rice.
the alcohol,
Mhm.
the dessert, you know, what I mean, the snacks. It's like, what else
Mhm.
are you having with that food? So
Exactly.
when they question cholesterol and they came out with these rubbish studies, they forgot to mention what else you were having with that food.
Yeah, exactly.
It's scary. It's honestly, it's
It is
absolutely, it's
scary
It
and
is
mind-boggling.
it's
scary.
rampant.
At least
It's
Because
everywhere.
it
yeah,
is.
it
At
is.
least we're creating a momentum. So I'm very, very
Yes.
grateful for this community.
Well,
Well, I'll
thank you for
definitely have to
sharing
get you
with
on.
us.
You've
It's a
done your
great
first
story.
podcast. I'm de- yeah,
Yes.
I've definitely got you on the first podcast, but I'm definitely going to get you on a few more.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I would love that. Absolutely.
Where can people go to find you?
I think I gave Victoria all like we have a little group. It's under 500 people that we have low carb for longevity. I'm
Amazing.
mostly active on Facebook. I'm a little active on TikTok. And we do want to do some videos in the future on YouTube, but that's not quite there
It's
yet.
coming up. You'll
Amazing.
get
Well,
there pretty
send me
soon.
a request on send me a friend request on Instagram. I'll be in touch with you, and
Okay,
I'll definitely set up another podcast for you in the next couple of days.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. But it's been a pleasure. Your story will inspire a lot of people. Hopefully, as I said, if this reaches just one person and we have an impact on their lives, then we've done a great job.
I agree. I agree. Thank you.
Wow.
So it's been a
Well,
pleasure.
thank
Thanks
you,
very much for
Sylvie.
coming on.
Same.
Yes. All the best of
Nice to
health.
meet you guys.
Okay, you take care now.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Speak soon. Bye bye. Yeah, I knew she was going to jump off.
Oh, she did. She hopped right off. I should have told her to stick around. She's so lovely. That was just wonderful.